Okay, so I have my SimVascular open right here. The display screen shows us the three planes, the axial, sagittal, and the coronal. It also has a 3D plane which combines all the three axial, sagittal, and coronal ones. Now let's open a new SV project. You can always create a new SV project and then import the image by clicking on the Add Replace Image option. I'm going to start by opening an SV project. The folder, select the folder. It might take some time to upload the image because it is a heavy file, so just be patient for that. Okay, it's uploaded. Alright. Now we can see the image is uploaded and you can see all the three planes, including the 3D one. You can always use the image navigator for moving the image. I prefer it this way because it makes it much easier. Or you could directly move on to the image and use your mouse or your keypad to move around the image. Now the SV Data Manager shows us all these things, the path segmentation, basically the whole pipeline for the simulation, SimVascular modeling. Now let's start by creating a path. So we already have a volume visualization tab open. If you want, you can just select or double click the image part and you can turn on the volume rendering to see the 3D image in colored way basically. Now it's grayscale right now, but if you turn on volume rendering, you can see the colored 3D model of the CT image. Now, first step in the segmentation is path planning. I've already created the paths, but I'm gonna start again right now to show you, and we can then just double check with these ones if we have created the right one or not. Now to start off, always I advise you to start off with the aorta because it is the largest vessel in the heart and we can easily track it in the CT image. It is the biggest circle in the middle, that one is the aorta. I usually like to start from the highest value in the axial plane. We can always maximize one of these planes so that we have a better view of the image. And if you want to go back, you just click this button again. This is for all the 4 planes, okay? So let's start by creating a path for the aorta. For that, you need to click on path, right click on it, create path, and just type in the name. I'm gonna write aorta 1 because I already have aorta right here. Okay, now just double click on this aorta. We will get this SV path planning display right here. So I'm just gonna scale the intensity down so we can see the image better. Alright. Now in the axial plane, we are watching this in the axial plane, right, which is from the top view. So just always remember that this side will be the left side and this one will be the right side. Okay, because in the CT image, the image is inverted naturally. So this will be our left side and this will be our right side. Okay, so let's start by path planning. In this video, our first step is to create the points in the middle of the circle until it disappears or is not actually showing. First, you just move the crosshairs in the center of the circle either by dragging them or just separately moving them. But I like to just drag it around with my mouse, place it at the center and add a point. Okay, it's done. You can also add manually, but that will take more time because you'll have to put in the XY coordinates for that. The first point is added. Now I suggest you always save your S3 projects after creating every step because in my experience the software has it has stopped at some time, so I just lose my work. So I always save it after every step. Next, you just go down by using the image navigator. We were at 223. I suggest 210 is okay. You again move the crosshairs to the center of the circle and you again add a new point. We have to continue like this till we reach the end of the image. For Aorta, I suggest 5-6 points are enough, but we can always do more for clarity. It's all up to you. So just keep on continuing the same process. Okay, so I've done 2 till now. Let's do the 4th one. And then, okay, when it starts losing its shape, that's the time to just stop marking the points, because then we have other vessels coming in and out of it. So maybe just one or 2 points more, I think, here at the center. Okay, so that's done. Just save it. And then I like to make paths and then segment them simultaneously. So if I've made the path for the Aorta, now I'll move on to the segmentations. And you click on create control group. You select your path, the same path that you have created. Click OK, and now the segmentation is open. Double click on this point and it will open another preview, which is the 2D segmentation. Now you know that you have created the right path if you move the resize button. It goes from up to down and not from up down then down up and that, like that. So it should go in one direction. That's when you know that you have plotted correct points. Now you could start the segmentation process here. We usually use 2 of these contour groups, the circle and spline poly, for this project. I start from when I can see the clear circle, and I usually turn on the lofting preview so that it will show me if I am outlining the circle in the correct way or not. So the Aorta is a pretty simple vessel to track and to segment because it's a circle, so I can use circle for the segmentation. You click on the circle, you click at the center of the circle in the image and you just drag it out like this and just click there. This has created the first point. You can see in the contour list panel that it has created the first point, which is 0. Now just moving on to forward just gonna zoom in so that you could see. Now the trick to do this is that the second point should not overlap with the first segmented ring. Otherwise the loft won't be created. So just move it further ahead, and I think that's better. 54, 52. Now we can see the loft will, the second contour will be created and it won't overlap. So let's put a point there, and that's it. Okay. Then moving on. This is the part for the segmentation. Again, just check if it's not overlapping and create a circle. Now if it's not encircling the whole image, you can always drag it like this by clicking onto the center point and just dragging it onto the whole picture. Now see, you can see that the loft is creating simultaneously, so this will give you the validation that your paths are correct and your segmentation points are also correct. Lastly, the last point is, okay, so we can see this is not a perfect circle, so I'm going to use the spline polygon for this. Now it's quite a tricky one because you plot one point, then you plot the other, and then it goes on like this. So we plot here. Just be very careful with this because you don't want to plot or bring in double points here. And just double click when you want to stop. We can always drag this to adjust. And that will do it for me. Alright, so just save it. And here we go. This is, we have segmented the aorta like this. Now if you want to create other paths, we do this in a similar way. You click on path, you right click on path, and you select okay, this has stopped responding, so just a moment. Yeah, create something. Create path and just rename it. I prefer to name it by their actual values. You can always name it by your own, like LC sub 1, LC1, but let's do one more, aorta, then we can try doing the LCA. Let's see. If you click on this, then it will show the LCA in the CT axial plane in the image where it is located. Just click on the points here and that will take you to it. Okay, just maximize this. I will maximize this plane so that you can see. Alright, we can okay, so you don't know which artery is going to be the right or the left one, but because I'm going to tell you one trick. You can always check it there in the 3D model, like the one in the 3D plane, if you have plotted the correct one or not. Alright, so we can see this portion coming out from, this was the aorta, this portion coming out from the aorta. Usually this would be the left coronary artery, because I told you before this this side is the left side from the viewer's plane, and this would be the right side. So this is the left coronary artery. It usually bisects into two, so it would be easier to spot. Let's just see. I'm just going to do it slowly. 167. Okay, you just want to see where the two vessels go and bisect and point them like I have done here. I see these two differently, so I just plotted the LCA in one, and then I'm gonna plot the LAD another one. The other one would be LAD. I'm just gonna turn it on so you can see. When I turn on LAD, that one is the LAD, and this one would be now LCX. If I just turn off LCA, LCX would be this one. If you keep on decreasing, you will see that these two vessels go on separately, and you just plot them till they become a very small point or disappear into the image. Okay, the 10-12 points are quite enough for this. This is how, and usually the right coronary artery is very difficult to track in this CT image, but if we can see in this that if I open up the right one, it is the one coming out from the opposite side of the LCA. Here it is. I'm just gonna close all the other ones and just watch. Now we could also do this in the other planes. That would show us a line or a dot in the sagittal plane. In the axial, it is, see, look, I've followed the artery till it becomes a point or disappears. You could see the blue point. Yeah. My strategy is to first create the path and then segment it simultaneously so that it doesn't make any confusion. We can check out the segmentation for the RCA. Okay. This aorta. If you don't want the others, then you just close it. With the RCA I had created consists of, I think, 6 points. So it is a quite long artery. This, all the CT images will be different, so do not expect the same results for every CT image. Okay, these are the segmentations. I'm just going to turn on lofting preview. Okay. Create off path. Now this is the loft for the RCA. You can see if I turn on all the loft for this image, then we will see the whole lofted version till now. I'm just going to do that. Okay, we can see the segmentations. Now the aorta will be the biggest one because it is the biggest artery, and the others will be small and their segmentations will be smaller, as we can see. And I'm just going to turn on the lofting for each one of them so that we have a better look. And then LAD. LCA, LAD. I've named them after their original names. You can always change that. And I haven't plotted the left marginal and the right marginal here because they weren't visible in these images. It might or might not be the same for you, all of you. Because I'm just going to turn out these. I'm only keeping the lofted versions open so that we have a better view of the whole image. this is how it was created, and I have created it in such a way so that the LCA and the RCA are inside the aorta. You could always do this by creating points, by taking the points of the LCA and RCA inside the aorta. Like if I just move on to LCA, then if I just open it, double click on it, it will show you the points. If you click on the first point, it will take you to that one. Just maximize this to you. Okay, you see I have created the first point is inside the aorta, so that when you segment all the vessels, they won't be they will be joined together, they won't be separate. That's why it's a good method to just, when you're creating new paths for different vessels, you just take points from inside the previous vessel. Like the LCA, it descends from the aorta, so just put 1 or 2 points inside the aorta so that it continues from there, the lofted version and in the segmentation. This was how I plotted the LCA. Now, similarly, you plot the LCX, the LAD, and the left marginal, and for the right coronary artery, the procedure is the same. Okay.